Hey nerds.
Hey nerds.
Um, we've been missing. Take two.
We recorded this about a week ago, but the audio was effed up. So now we're back re-recording it.
um, it'll also post later today, so everybody will have kind of an update. Basically, we stopped posting some stuff for a while because
Because Caleb had real bad diarrhea
the worst. Um, but Jen was in the hospital.
with diarrhea.
And most people know that she has multiple sclerosis, but I don't want to get into like the specifics of multiple sclerosis. Like maybe when she shows up one day, she was gonna come talk on here just to kind of help explain, because she's more or less a part of the show. She comes out and stuff and helps us when we need it. She's my set of eyes on every sketch that we do because I'm like, hey, does the color look good?
Well, in the canon of Team Triplehorn, she's the editor,
Yeah,
right?
but well, she will be moving forward. But basically, Jen was in the hospital. She had a new exasperation. In MS terms, multiple sclerosis, an exasperation is a symptom resurgence, I guess, flare up. People with like RA know what flare ups are, and it's in the same kind of like ballpark. But she had a really bad one. We thought she had a seizure. Um, was real bad, and so we took her to the emergency room, and she was there for 5 days. And we were basically, what took so long really was we kept waiting and waiting and waiting for the doctors to perform the test to make sure that it wasn't a seizure. But it just seems like everything moved really slow in the hospital. And like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like the nurses, the CNAs, the doctors, and everybody were really nice and they were very accommodating. But like, I mean, her away from her kids and stuff for 5 days took its toll. Plus, she's going through the stuff that she's going through. And a lot of people will be thinking, like, oh, well, if she's hurting or if she's going through something, she needs to be in the hospital. But the way we see it is she experiences these symptoms from multiple sclerosis year round, like always. She always has them. Um, the fatigue, the pain, the aches, the inability to walk. She says it feels like she's walking through mud. If she overexerts herself, she gets the sloth speech and she can't talk well. Um, it's like the motor skill. She loses like motor skill function in her body, and that's just her particular MS. Everybody who has MS is different, but these are her normal. That's her normal. Like anybody who sees us, day to day, weekly, knows this. They know that for Jen, it's toss up on if she's gonna be capable. Like she just went through all that, and yesterday we went. I don't want to say gallivanting around town, but we were out and about, and she was hurting, she was in pain, but she had her cane, she was capable of walking. We took the stroller for Jack, and eh, like it is what it is.
You told me yesterday that y'all went to Red Lobster and you did not enjoy the experience. Do you want to
Mm-mm.
speak about that a little bit?
So for one, lobster is expensive. I guess understandable, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know why lobster is expensive, but it tastes like the fat that you cut off the steak, like the consistency.
Okay.
And then the way they cooked it particularly had like a steak flavor, and so it just honestly it felt like I was chewing like steak fat.
Now, I've never cooked a lobster before, but I was under the impression you just throw them boys in a pan and
And I thought you boiled it.
yeah, in a pot and boil them. No? Is
I
that not how
mean,
you cook a lobster?
probably, but like, I mean, I don't want to throw the cooks at Red Lobster under the bus because the shrimp was really good. The shrimp was really good. The stuffed mushrooms were really good. But yeah.
On the internet, I saw an article that said they were going out of business because they lost too much money on an all you can eat shrimp deal
Oh
that
my
they were
god.
doing.
I mean, their shrimp was pretty good, but I don't know about that. Like, it didn't seem it. Well, okay. So for full context, right?
Okay.
Like, we're out and about, and we wanted to do something as a family because we hadn't been doing anything as a family in a while, and so we said, you know what? Let's go eat. We were gonna go to Luby's, right? Like, because we're super old people.
Mm-hmm.
I love Luby's. And so and anybody who doesn't know what Luby's is, it's like a cafeteria
I think
style.
most people know Luby's.
Okay,
They're not underground like
well,
furs.
hashtag bring back furs. I loved furs. You know this.
Yeah.
Like, furs was the goat of cafeteria style cuisine. But anyway, we were gonna go to Luby's. We went to Luby's. It was a Sunday. It was super packed, and so we were like, I don't want to wait in that line. And then so we said, you know what? I'm kind of in the mood for cafeteria buffet, right? So
Okay.
we said, let's go see if Golden Corral's busy. And all this time I'm thinking, I should text Kevin, but it was family day, Kevin.
Okay.
Your extended family.
All right.
and and so I was like, I really wanted Golden Corral, I really wanted Luby's, but both of them were just super packed. And so we said, you know what? How about Joe's Crab Shack? But we know when we go to Joe's Crab Shack, it's so expensive, dude, because the crab is like super high right now. So we said, you know what? Let's just get the shrimp like platter. You get all the stuff. And so Joe's Crab Shack we didn't even go by because we knew it was gonna be super expensive. So while we're at Golden Corral, we're like, hey, Red Lobster looks dead. And so we said, let's go to Red Lobster. We went, and
And there was a reason it was dead.
we've only been there like maybe twice. We've only been there like I'm sorry, I have only been to Red Lobster maybe twice, and both times before were just eh. This time though, it was like it was $40 for like enough crab that you could put on like a sandwich.
That's not very much.
Not crab, I'm sorry, lobster. I had never had lobster though. I really wanted to try it because I love crab so much.
Okay.
Nah, not for me. I don't like to eat. It felt like brain. Jen kept saying it has the texture. It looks like a brain, and I was like, it was disgusting.
When we were talking yesterday, I did mention to you, but I'll talk about it now. When I was a kid, Red Lobster was like my favorite restaurant. You know, when me and my brother, when our birthdays would come around, my parents would let us pick, okay, where do you want to go for your birthday? And I would always pick Red Lobster, and I'd always get popcorn and shrimp.
And baby Kevin was like, I want to go to Red Lobster.
But yeah,
And
I
they
don't
said,
really go.
talk better.
I haven't been there in a while. Um,
Popcorn
so
shrimp generally is really good anywhere.
so bringing it back to the situation with Jennifer, after you got done with all that, you swung by my house,
Yes.
because me and Bobby had bought a treadmill and it was hella heavy and I could
Yeah.
not get it into my house by myself.
I have lifted treadmills before, like many a treadmill.
Okay,
Uh, Damn, that one was heavy.
yeah. And
Kevin got the
I
deluxe.
did notice when Jennifer was getting out of the car, she didn't seem like she was full speed, you know?
Yeah, she had her cane.
Yeah.
Um, she shout out to Penny's second grade teacher, who we've been super friendly with over the years since Penny had her, and Miss Massengill, she gave Jen a walker that what she had got for her mother, but her mother never used it. And so she was like, well, I mean, I just have this walker. And so she asked Jen, she saw Jen at the school with the cane, and she was like, I have a walker if you want it. And Jen was, in her head, she's like, I don't want a walker,
Yeah.
but she needs one. And we had been talking about getting her one, and we saw like a really nice one, and we've been like shopping and stuff. But so we call it Walker Texas Ranger. Naturally, I'm gonna put a little badge on it so that way.
I thought I thought you were gonna put. Didn't one of us said? You know, I think it was me. I'll take credit for this one. I said to put a decal "Too Wicked" on it.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That I'll also. Well, no, that'll be for her wheelchair.
Okay.
Because also, side note, my mother, she's found this website, dude, that they can bid on stuff, and it's like all
Is it
overstock. No,
eBay?
dude, it's like all over. It's local.
Okay.
It's like this warehouse down on like navigation or something. I don't remember where, but no, I
And
think
it's
it's on
like medical.
McBride.
It's like medical supplies or what?
No, dude, it's
Just
like all.
everything.
That's where this desk came from.
Oh, damn.
Shout out to anybody who noticed that the layout of the show is a little different because we got a new desk.
I don't know if they'd be able to tell just from watching the video.
Well, I'm at a lower angle. Nah, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
basically, she found this website where she can bid on stuff, and one of the things that popped up was like this really nice wheelchair that reclines and has all this pad and support and stuff. And she got it for like $40.
Nice.
And I was like, and at first, because like when Jen saw it, and I don't mean to put her business out there, I asked her permission because before we had filmed the last one, I didn't talk to her about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was talking to her a couple days, like a day or two later, and I had said, hey, we talked about you on the show. And she was like, you did? And I was like, oh, dang. Like, you don't want us to?
Yeah.
And she said, she thought about it for a second and she said, no, it's okay. Um, like it's a part of who I am and it's her life. And so she posted on Facebook that day and let everybody know, more or less what was going on. But she didn't go into any kind of detail. I'm a detail guy. Like for me, talking about that, like I talk about my eyes, I joke about my eyes all the time. One thing in the last recording that we did say was, I don't want people to think like Jen is like this huge sad sack about it, because just like me with my eyes, like people cope with humor. And in the hospital, particularly why this episode was so scary was, during these things that looked like seizures, she had lost her memory of them. So it was like she wasn't aware or conscious during the episode. And so that was scaring me because I haven't been scared. I don't get scared when she goes through a symptom. I know what to expect. I
Yeah.
know once she had the diagnosis, I knew what to expect. I'm mentally prepared for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this, it felt different. It felt very scary because she had no recollection of it. And so I recorded it and I have the video and I probably won't post it
Yeah,
for,
I was gonna say, dude, that's probably not.
well, she's laughing and joking, like I have the
Okay.
video. It was not a seizure, like because after she only went through what looked like a seizure maybe twice, and afterwards she would get really loopy, like somebody coming off of drugs at the dentist.
Okay.
And so, or anesthesia at the dentist, and so, or the laughing gas, whatever.
Yeah.
But so she was just like, just making jokes, but then she developed like this shake, like she had like a Parkinson's shake. And so like during that, I would be talking to her and we would be conversing, having a conversation, talking, and then afterwards I would ask her something that happened during the conversation, not testing her, but just, like, hey, remember when we were talking about, and she was like, what were we talking about? When was that? And I was like, huh? And so the next time it happened, I recorded it and I was talking to her and I told her, we're making a message for the kids and this and that. And then afterwards I showed it to her and she was like, when did we record that?
Yeah, that's trippy.
And it was really scary and it was really hard to go through that. And I've always said like I have a really good memory. And so for her, I'm her memory bank when she goes through stuff, because when we go to talk to the doctor, I give her a list. This is what you need to say. This is what you went through. This is what happened. When she goes through a new pain or something, sometimes she'll say, like, oh, my left leg is starting to hurt. And I'm like, baby, your left leg's been hurting for 2 years. And she's like, really? It's not that she's losing her memory. but it's she will develop memory issues with MS. That's part of it, or most likely is part of it, or has to be part of it, or can be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the bag, you know.
Yeah.
It's in the Easter basket. We just don't know if she's gonna open it yet, you know.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was a little scary, and so we recorded the video, and in the video, she's, going back to us making light of it a lot. Was in the video, she said we should do a short, and the whole time, she's shaking, and she's like, we should do a short where you say something's on my shoulder, and I'm like, I'm trying to get it off, and I was like, no, we're not gonna post that. I told her, I go, for you, yeah, it makes sense, but somebody watching isn't gonna get. They're gonna think we're making fun of,
Yeah.
But she has, for the most part, she has a good kind of sense of humor as much as she can about it. But
Yeah. So before all that had happened, we did get some work done. We did a full-on sketch with Becca, aka Girl Gilla.
yep,
Shout outs. Also, happy birthday, Girl Gilla.
like 2 days late or something, but
I think it
I
was.
told her happy birthday though.
All right, sweet. I think it was on the 18th. So you'll be seeing that in the coming weeks. We also did a this already got posted. It was a short about Bad Boys,
Yes,
about specifically a scene in the first one where
Mike Lowry.
where Martin Lawrence has to pretend that he's Mike Lowry. And I think that got about 400 views or so. I guess there's not a lot of Bad Boys fans around anymore.
I guess all the 90s Bad Boys fans grew up and
But
got real
the reason
jobs.
we wanted to do that is because both of us are hyped for Bad Boys 4. Bad Boys 3 wasn't that good, but Bad Boys 4 is coming out, and I think we're both on the same page. We do want to see that in theaters.
We hope they bring it back.
But
I know Michael Bay is like a big dang, but I'm still on board.
But in honor of, I guess, of Bad Boys 4 and Will Smith, we did want to do a tier list of Willie Smith movies.
Also, we have a fancy. This actually is a separate episode too. Remember, we're gonna split them.
Okay.
But we. So I guess we should do an intro for the second episode, right?
Should we do an outro for the first episode then?
So that Will Smith thing he was just talking about is going to be Wednesday. Y'all come back Wednesday.
All right. See you later, nerds. See you in 2 days.
All right.